Every agent I know loves appointment, and for good reason, because appointment once closed can pay you a lot of money, and the feeling is amazing when you close, when you get a client in an appointment. The feeling is super powerful and very motivating, right? But there are agents who have problems getting appointments, and I'm gonna be talking about 5 reasons why you are having few appointments. Hi, my name is Yasser Khan, and I'm the author of Property Agent Secrets book, which is the most powerful book in the entire real estate industry, guaranteed. And for a time, you can get it for free. Just cover a small shipping fee over at propertyagentsecrets.com. So today I'm talking about why agents, the reason why many agents do not have enough appointments. And there are 5 reasons that I'm going to be covering today. The first reason has to do with not enough leads, because you need to have leads, you need to have inquiries coming in order to even have a chance to get in front of them in an appointment. Because without enough leads, without any leads, you do not even have the opportunity to sell them what you have to sell, right? So having leads is absolutely the most important thing. It is the foundation of your business, right? No leads, no appointments, as simple as that. So you need to address leads, the issue of leads. So what's the solution? How to have more and more leads coming in, more and more inquiries coming in? Very simple. I teach many of my agents, I share secrets with them in my book, Property Agent Secrets. Like I give away my scripts for ads that have actually given my agents a lot of appointments, a lot of closing. So the thing that I teach in my agents, how to craft these specific kind of ads, the whole idea is to get prospects to chase you. Stop doing cold calling, stop doing door knocking. These things are already outdated. Prospects hate all these activities, right? So instead, give prospects what they want, and this is the foundation of my lead generation success. All right. So when you can solve this issue of not enough leads, then you should be able to get as many leads as possible, and from there you are assuming that you're speaking to them, you're following up with them, then you should be booking appointments. Now this brings me to my second point. Even if some agents that I work with, they are having enough leads, then the problem is they're not getting enough appointments, and the reason is because they're not doing follow-up quickly enough. Follow-up is everything, and this is what I teach my agents, and I've seen time and again, even me myself when I got started initially, follow-up is a very difficult thing to master, because if you are the only one doing follow-up and the appointment, then you are going to find it a challenge to have enough appointments. The reason is because follow-up takes time, and consistent follow-up takes discipline, which many people do not have, and which I admit is quite tough to cultivate discipline, right? So follow-up takes discipline, follow-up takes time, and follow-up takes effort, in the form of you can't just do any type of follow-up. You have to follow up instantly, and by instant follow-up I mean the minute the prospect leaves their details or makes an inquiry to you, you should be calling them up immediately. You should not be wasting any time. I've seen many agents waste time, and I've seen those agents, right, they found out that the prospect actually engaged another property agent. Why? Because they were too slow, and the other agent happened to be very, very quick with follow-up, and that's the reason why many agents lose the business, because of slow follow-up. And this is important, because if you follow up quickly, your chances of booking an appointment are very, very high, right? And the slower you are with follow-up, the chances of your appointments also decrease dramatically, right? And this is important to understand, because 80% of appointments are booked in the first minute of calling the appointment, right? And this is a fact. Test it out. So this is very, very critical. This is very, very important for you to understand that follow-up, you have to do it the right follow-up, and the right way. The right way to do a follow-up is to follow up quickly, instantly, right? Now I understand not every agent will be able to do a follow-up very quickly, no problem. You should leverage technology to do that for you. There's a lot of technologies out there, and at my company we also use a lot of automation, a lot of technology to take the load off from our agents, and that frees them up to do the important stuff like appointment, right? So now we've covered lack of quick follow-up. The next reason is basically, even if agents do follow up, right, they're still not able to get appointment, and the reason has to do with not using a script. Whenever you follow up with a prospect, you need to have a script, right? I understand that many agents that I've spoken to previously, they do not like the idea of sounding like a robot when they use a script to call them or speak to them. But the problem is, right, when these agents that I speak to, right, they're so reluctant to use a script to sound like a robot, but actually that kills off their chances of booking appointments, because it slows them up, it slows them down, and by the time you even okay, let's say they don't want to sound like a robot, right? By the time these agents call the prospect, right, they use no script at all. And remember, prospects are also very sophisticated, right? Prospects have their own script playing in their head, and that script, nowhere in their script says that you, the property agent, is going to win, right? So prospects are always winning with the more powerful script, and by default, when you're not using a script at all, you've given all the power, you've given away all your power to the prospect, right? So you got to have a script, you got to follow the script. The trick to not sounding like a robot is actually comes with practice. So the more you practice, the better you become. Remember, practice makes permanent, right? So the more you practice, the better you become, and the less robotic you should sound. And you should be very conversational, very informal, right? So this is the only way to solve the problem of not following a script. You have to get a script, and you have to practice that script enough in order to sound totally natural. Now, even if you use a script, right, which is the third reason many agents are not able to get an appointment, even if you use a script, right, some of them may still not get appointment, and the reason has to do with objections, right? So when they hear objections from prospects over the phone, now that you've followed up with them in a timely manner after getting the lead, now that you're using a script, right, what the next obstacle for property agent is that they get floored by an objection over the phone, and the objection is the prospect doesn't want to see you, right? Or the prospect doesn't have enough time, or whatever the reason is, or not interested. And the most common objection that I consistently hear is, I'm just curious. I was just curious. I was just looking, Or the prospect says, I'm just browsing, right? And I'm just continue to looking. I'm not serious, something like that, or some variation of this objection. So do you know how to solve this objection over the phone? With only a limited time, right? So the important thing is you must understand, right? By the prospects, right? They are trying to put you off, right? They're trying to diffuse the situation. They know that you're calling them, and they are expecting a sales pitch from you, and prospects don't want to hear that. And this is the reason why they say, oh, I'm just browsing, oh, I'm just curious, oh, I just click on something and that's it, I'm just looking through, right? So they don't want to come down to see you an appointment, because they see that the appointment is too risky and that you're going to sell them something, right? That's the reason why they have this objection. So you must learn to overcome this objection. How I train my agents to overcome this objection is very simple. You ask them what exactly, roughly what are they looking for. Do they mind sharing with you, right? Maybe you have something that, they might be looking for, but, by the time they are more serious, the opportunity is already gone. So you create a fear of missing out in them, not by doing, sales tactic like many people do. I'm never about hard selling. I'm all about, letting serving the prospect, helping the prospect. It's not about sales, it's about service, it's about helping them. Prospects, they always have two things in their mind. They're either running away from pain or they're moving towards pleasure. So you have to hit both of these psychological, areas and give them something that they're looking for, and, help them avoid the pain that they're running away from. Very simple, right? So now that you have generated the lead, you have done sufficiently fast follow-up, and you are able to use a script and you're able to overcome the objection, right? Yet there is still a fifth reason why you are still not having enough appointment, and that is because after you book over the phone, you book an appointment, you confirm with them, the prospect doesn't show up in the appointment, right? So the fifth obstacle to getting enough appointment is no-show, right? So what do? What I see many agents doing, they get angry, they get frustrated, they go on Facebook and paste, screenshot their conversation on WhatsApp and, name and shame the prospects online. That is, you shouldn't be doing that. That is totally amateurish, right? So, there's no reason for you to get angry at the prospect. Maybe something came up or something happened and it has nothing to do with you. I know you need the sale, you need the money, but hey, things happen. People get born, people die, stuff happen. There are fires in the home, something, I don't know whatever happened. So something happens, and that is the reason why the prospect, doesn't show up in an appointment. So it's a no-show. It's not an appointment for you, right? And I know it's very unpleasant. You still have to be professional, right? You cannot scold prospects. Seriously, right? Be professional. Do not scold prospects. So that's the scolding the prospect, taking screenshots and putting on social media and sharing with other agents. That is not the way to move forward. That is not professional at all. What you should be doing instead, become a better leader, right? So become better at setting up agreements with them. When you book the phone over the phone, right? When you book the appointment over the phone, what you should be doing instead is you confirm the appointment, right? So when they're able, ask them to confirm, right? So you tell them, are you able to confirm 9 a.m. Monday? And then you wait for them to reply, right? And you ask them what happens in the event that they're not able to make it. What are the next steps that you would like them to suggest to you? And you wait for them to tell you, right? So you wait for them to come up with an alternative, right? So always ask the prospects for an alternative, all right? So the prospects who are able to turn up, obviously they are more serious because they value the time, they value your time, right? So you want to emphasize over the phone, you want to emphasize over to them that you have, your time is valuable, right? And their time is valuable too, right? And the second thing that you need to, address over the phone while confirming the appointment is you have to emphasize that this is no risk. Remove all the risk. Whatever risk they feel, remove it. Whatever risk, maybe it's too far or the day is not right for them, remove it. Move it closer to what works for them, all right? Be more flexible. And then you must always emphasize the fact that there is no obligation, there is no sales pitch involved. So emphasize no obligation. And when you do this, right, you should be able to reduce the amount of no-shows that you experience. So in this video today, I just shared with you the 5 reasons for having not enough appointment. If you're able to get enough leads, if you're able to do quick follow-up in a timely manner, if you're able to use a script, and if you're able to overcome objection, and if you're able to reduce the amount of no-shows, then you should be having more appointments than you can handle. And that is a good problem to have.